Hello, in this video we are going to look at transformations in Photoshop. So please open one of the images. The first thing that we will need to do, we'll need to change this image from the background to a layer. Without that, we cannot transform it. So just double click and press OK. The bricks that you can see are available for us to transform them. Before I continue, I'm actually going to copy this image a few times over. So I'm going to drag it to the plus sign on the bottom of the Photoshop. I'm going to create a few copies of it so I can show you different things I can do with it. So I'm going to hide the rest of them and have only one copy available. So first of all, what if you want to scale your element, if you want to make it bigger or smaller? So you need to have it selected, so click on it, go to Edit, and you can either use Scale or Free Transform. So after you click on those, you will see that there are little boxes in the corners available. That means you can manipulate this object. So by grabbing on one of the boxes, I can scale it. This version of Photoshop will scale it, preserving proportions. So I will make it smaller and bigger, but the image, the proportions of it stays intact. If I would like to play with those proportions and, for example, elongate the image, I would need to press Shift. Press and hold Shift while I'm trying to manipulate it. That will allow me to change the proportions of that element. When I'm happy with it, I need to press Enter to accept those changes. Also, by using Free Transform, I can rotate my image. And whenever I've got it to the point that I like it, I will need to press Enter to accept those changes. So I'm going to hide this image for a moment and open another copy of it. And we're going to look on other transformations we can do with it. So next thing I'm going to show you different transformations that you can do with this image. So you can skew it again, have it, the layer selected, and that will play with the whole image. It will end up being skewed. Press Enter to accept. Open another copy. You can distort the image. That will allow you to move the corners independently. Press Enter to accept the changes. You can play with perspective, which will hold on and move both of the corners together. And one of the transformations I really like, you can use the wrap to bend the image a bit, and you've got quite a lot of control how you're changing it. Each time you transform the image, you will need to press Enter to accept the changes. That will actually update that image. So if you skew something, if you distort it, and then you want to go back on yourself, you might lose the quality of the image. So just be very wary of that. That's why it's the best to do it on the copy of the layer when you're playing with it. In case you don't like the changes that you've done, you can always go back to your old copy and start again. So you can see here that I've changed this image in quite a few different ways. Now, I would like to show you the transparency effect that you can do. So first of all, I would need a layer with a different color, just so it's a bit more visible for you on the screen. So I'm going to choose a very opposite color, like this blue, and just fill the layer with the color. At the moment it's on the top and I want it to be underneath. So here it is. By changing the order in the stack in the layer, I got one of my elements visible. So at the moment, the element is fully visible. If I want it to be semi-transparent, I can always change opacity of this element. So you can see the less opacity there is, the more the element will blend with whatever is underneath that image. It's another way to achieve very interesting effects. Thank you and see you in another video.